Welcome back, YouTube, to another episode of Grower in the Shower, where we are talking about Elden Ring.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Is Elden Ring too hard? The answer,
Yes.
no, it's not.
So tell me what you mean by that, because in my opinion, yes, Elden Ring is too hard, but from the conversations we've been having, I think we've cheesed a system where you can actually pretty much choose your difficulty and how you want to play.
I think you cheese the system. It's just that's how the games are. Like, I want to say this because I've never played all the Souls game. I've played Dark Souls 3 and I've played Sekiro.
I've only played Elden Ring.
So it's the same way. I mean, yes, you can farm runes, level up, and go and beat those bosses. It's always been designed that way. So if you want a harder game, you don't have to do that. If you want it to be slightly easier, the difference is, I guess, is it's still going to be hard. There's bosses, even if you go in with max level, you're still gonna die a lot.
Yeah, this game isn't tailored for, the typical average gamer. It's not saying anyone that can come and pick this game up is going to have a great time. I know true gamers that don't even want to play these games because it's too difficult for them,
Yeah.
and it goes to the thing where people don't want to.
But I'll say this: I don't think it's too difficult. I think it's too time consuming, is what it comes down to.
That's
There's
a lot
certain,
of it.
yeah. There's no boss in there that you can't beat. I mean, we were on the phone last night talking, and I died like probably 40 times while we were on the phone. But I like that because it's very. The whole thing is you have to learn their move sets of the boss, right? Learn what you're supposed to do, and then form a game plan. And I love that part. I like losing 40 times in a row and then coming back and winning. It's the best feeling in the world.
The thing about bosses compared to the rest of the game, right? I think a lot of people, and I've brought this up to you. I don't mind losing to a boss 40 times in a row and then finally beating it. I'm at that part of the game. I'm okay with that. I expect that. What I hate is when I'm in just some random part of anything, a random castle, whatever it is, and just skeletons piece me up. And I can't get back to my runes and I lose 15,000 and I'm only level 10. It's like that. It's just, those are the frustrating parts of the game that'll make you quit. It isn't losing to the boss 20 times. I really don't think it is. It's losing to the two random skeletons at the end of the corridor.
I understand that. I think that for me, it's not overly difficult because, again, if you level up enough, if you want to do that, then those same skeletons won't kill you as quick. Outside of that, there is I've been killed, man. I remember I was fighting something and I won, and I wasn't even paying attention, and a fucking one of the rams, like the goats, headbutted me and I died. That pissed me off. All right, that was annoying, but at the same time, it isn't. I ran right back and got my runes. It wasn't like that big of a deal. And those instances do happen, or the one thing I'll say about this game, fall damage is sporadic.
Yeah,
I have no fucking clue when I'm gonna die and when I'm not
exactly.
gonna die. And they make it to where I've even jumped on the torrent and rode down the side of a cliff and then didn't fall or anything, but when I touched the ground I died. It's like, no, you can't come down this way. They didn't want you to. So there are instances like that. I think that more so than the how difficult the game is to play, I think it's more of the not knowing where you're supposed to go that would bother more people. I don't mind it as much. I think it's fun. But I could see how that would deter a lot of gamers.
I mean, if we're talking about this game doesn't have a difficulty selection at all, right? So how do you go about that? Well, what do you do? Yes, it is time consuming. And I think that's just the main point of it. You want to ease your game, it's going to cost you some time. You're going to have to look up where to go. You're going to have to look up who to not to fight, because there's some people you just shouldn't fight. There's
Yeah. Well, you don't really have to look that up. You'll figure it out.
Sure, but I'm more meaning going back to your point where you don't know what to do. I honestly would never know where to go unless I just looked at a hint. Like I told you, I was in that academy for hours. Hours I was in that academy just looking for where to go. I didn't know. I just needed to cross this little path to the stairs to the right, like right when you enter the place. It's like right there, right when you enter the place. I spent hours in that spot. I had to look that up. So there are ways to make the game easier for yourself. And then for sure, bosses and everything like that, you can level up. There are places you can farm runes. You've showed me spot where you can farm runes. A lower level person, obviously it's risky, but if you die to these higher level people that drop, higher level runes, get on your horse, go back over there, get your stuff real quick and get out. The risk per reward is worth it in that scenario. I think early game you're only getting 50 to 150 runes per monster you're killing, and it'll take forever to level up, you know, to get where you need to be. And then it's
Yeah,
crazy because I'd hear you talk about certain bosses you fight, and you're like, "Oh, I'm level 40, I'm level 50, I'm level 60." I'm like, "Oh, I'm at the same boss and I'm level 20." Like, I just got there somehow before, and I just was getting pieced up, so I needed to level up. It just was, that's what it was. And outside of that, you can summon friends. You know, if it's not someone you can also just summon random people. But make sure you don't join a random person's world and think you can, beat that boss with them and then still progress your story. Learn that the hard way.
yeah. No, you're right about all that. There are things that make it. I mean, even the your Ashes of War. Some of those are so OP that you can get, and that's another thing. If the game is too hard, I know sometimes it's kind of funny to me. Like I don't hate on anybody that games, and it's like if you want to play on a game on easy, do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I've done it.
I
I love
prefer
God
it
of
sometimes with story games because I actually want
so
to
you can
enjoy
play.
the
Yeah,
story.
that's what I'm saying. Like I've God of War, I've played before on easy. Now I've beat it on normal. I've beat it on God mode. But I've went back and the first time I played it, there were areas where I just went to easy so I could just walk around, not really worry about anything, just because I wanted to explore. Another one, Last of Us. I played some of that game, or I played a whole game of that one on easy, just because I really wanted to look. I wanted to explore. I wanted to see everything. I didn't want to have to worry about enemies, and I've gone back and repeated those games. Those are games that I just love a lot. And some people need to play those games anyways, or not those games, but those games on easy anyways. And I think that this is the game where it kind of deters you. And I really think it gets a bad rap. It's not as hard as it seems when people make it out to be.
No, I mean,
Yes,
like I said,
the
the
people
difficulty.
that are fucking naked, level 8, killing, doing a speed run in 30 minutes, they're doing something that you can't do, that I
Yeah.
can't do, whichever. But I'm not that great at games, and given I'm probably better at this type of game than I am others, like, I'm terrible at fucking first
Yeah, I'm
person
not great at
shooters and shit
shooters or
like
anything
that.
like that.
But this is probably one of the games I'm better at. I can get through a lot of it, and I'm not that great.
I mean,
Uh,
this type of game is great for the people that grew up with your Final Fantasies, your Pokemons, World of Warcraft, any of these like old school RPG stuff like that, because you're used to the grind. You're used to
yeah,
sitting there and farming an
and
area,
I
grinding up
think
your
that's
levels.
how you should come into this game. Think of it like an MMO, just like you would play an MMO. An MMO, you're not walking. I mean, it's not like you're being told where to go or hey, there's a quest over here. Play it like that, and that's all you have to do. That's what the game is designed for.
Mm.
You know?
I mean, you do see other people running around, and the at least the ghostly figures of people running around, and sometimes they help you because you know where not to go, and sometimes you find some secret stuff. So like, it is kind of helpful to have those things around, and the bloodstains. The bloodstains actually help me a lot because I'm like, oh, something's about to happen
About to
here.
happen. Yeah, some shit's about to go down. No, I feel that, man. And like I said, I think that people get my point to what I was saying earlier is outside of the easy mode part. I think that people hate on, hey, you shouldn't use guides and you shouldn't. This is the type of game, use a fucking guide. If you're lost, there's been times I've been lost. I'm like, where the fuck do I go? So I look it up. There's
This,
nothing wrong with that.
this game is so unforgiving. Once again, there's no difficulty. It doesn't tell you what to do other than like a grace kind of showing you a light, kind of where to go. It's so ambiguous. You don't really know. Other than that, they're not telling you anything. So use any
I don't know.
exploitation
Yeah, I
that
don't know what
the game
happened to
gives
your
you.
brain right then. But no, you use the exploitation. It doesn't matter if you cheese the ball, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is the kind of game you do that in, and don't let anybody hate on you because of it.
Going into the last thing of like how to make the game easier for you is know your playstyle. Like I knew for me, like as much as I've been a sword and shield kind of guy, and that would be me. I'd be like if I was being true, I'd be like the vagabond or whatever. Like that was just what I would gravitate towards because it's a heavy shield, one-handed sword. Obviously, you can go to two. Heavy armor, so you're a tank. You know, you can take some hits and then deal out some hits. I knew this wasn't the game that I was going to be able to do that in, just with how the enemies are and the playstyle of everything. You know, so that's why I went a caster build. Let me get some range on everything. Let me make sure I can stay back. And I, I don't regret anything about it. Like, I remember I started off with a samurai, and within the first 30 minutes, I was like, let me actually do caster. Because I was kind of hesitant to do it. But it was better for me on how I wanted to play the game, and it's actually made it easier for me.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm the exact opposite. I like the heavy tanks. I like dex builds. I like things. I like shit where you can get up close. To me, that makes the game a lot more fun. I also think that one of the things they should have added in the game that I do believe is bullshit. They don't is a fucking pause button
Yeah.
because I get that the game is meant to be hard, and even if you can't pause during boss fights, that would be fine with me. But I have fucking kids. Like, no, fuck that actually. Yeah, be able to pause during boss fights. It's bullshit. I have kids. I died because my kid ran up to give me a hug and I turned toward her and I died immediately. I was fighting a boss. I was almost like done with it. Like, give me a pause button. All right, for the people with kids, have a fucking father mother button on there or something where you can flip it on so you can pause the goddamn game.